All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awfully Silly. I hope you had a terrific weekend. It's also been a bit. I think it's been close to a month since we had an episode. I had a lot of stuff going on. IRL, getting married and having a honeymoon and stuff like that. So life kept me busy, but I'm happy to be back with you at a somewhat regular pace here. So I hope everyone has had a good couple weeks, a good weekend and everything like that. But it's time to get awfully silly. Once again. But before we do that, I want to remind everyone of just a few things. For example, did you know that GDQ is going to be at TwitchCon? Yes, that's right. GDQX will be live from TwitchCon October 20th through the 22nd. The event will take place on the Games Done Quick stage, as well as streamed live on the Twitch channel of Games Done Quick. You can use exclamation point GDQX in Twitch chat to find out more info and check out the schedule. You might see my name on there. You might see our first runner's name on there. You might see some fun stuff on there. So be sure to check it out. And additionally, if you're looking for even more live GDQ content, Awesome Games Done Quick 2024 will indeed be live in person January 14th through the 21st in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can use exclamation point AGDQ in Twitch chat for more info, and you can go on over to gamesdonequick.com to check out the games list, which just came out on Friday. You might again see yours truly on there. But without further ado, I'm excited. I'm excited this evening. I'm excited to be getting back to it. I'm also excited because we got some really, really fun, really strange, and some iconic awful/silly block games coming up for you, including some iconic awful/silly block type runners that you're probably pretty familiar with. So to get us started this evening is a legendary awful/silly block game with a legendary runner, and it's going to be Xena Warrior Princess for the PlayStation, and it's going to be run by Brosencha. Brosencha, how are you?
Hey there, Conception. I am doing fantastic, and wouldn't you know it, you brought me to play one of my favorite games ever that I have been running since before SGDQ was actually at a hotel and was still in my sister's house. Yeah, maybe one day this will get onto the GDQ stage. Not this next marathon, not the marathon after, but that's okay because I'm not going to stop playing this, Conception.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't want you to.
I mean, well, maybe after a while, you got to give me a break sometime.
Yeah, all right, fine. Just for grudge match. Just for grudge match, and then you got to go back to it, okay?
Okay. But yeah, everybody, Xena Warrior Princess for PS1 is easily one of my favorite bad games out there. With that said, I actually think there's a lot to love about this game. Are you ready for me to begin, Conception?
I am so ready. I hope everyone out there is ready too.
Well, in that case, let's go ahead and get started. I will tell you when time starts. It's as soon as movement begins with Xena. So I will hit new game. And then as soon as movement starts, I'll start my timer and you can start yours.
Sounds great.
I mean, our producer can start ours. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ray. And of course, my controller's not working. Well, let's go ahead and call that a false start. Why?
Can we get a mulligan, please?
Mulligan. Okay. For some reason, it just... let's quit. Yeah, that was fun. That was cool. So that was Xena Warrior Princess for PS1. I hope you enjoyed my run of not having the right settings, apparently. I literally tested it and did not reset the game before. Oh, I unplugged my controller. That's probably what happened.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. When movement starts is when we start time. Here we go.
Well, we get to see this nice show tie-in or movie tie-in screen right here, which is great.
Oh, yeah, so yeah. Okay, here we go. See, she's moving. Woo! There we go. So, welcome to Xena Warrior Princess. We play as Xena, who can roll around and kill people like that. Okay, we're going to grab a sword upgrade right there. Does it matter? I don't know. I feel like it does, but also superstition.
Yeah.
That's
enough to go for it. That's enough to go for it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So right now, I unfortunately don't have the best setup here. in general, what we want to do is kill all of the enemies at the exact same time. There are usually 3 that show up that we can just kill, and as soon as they die, start a cutscene here. But the game is... Where are they? Okay.
There they are.
Yeah. Like, you can usually get the cutscene to start about 30 seconds into this. Whatever. Sure, we lost 25, 30 seconds because the game just was a butt.
Yep, that sounds like some games on here.
Yep.
Yep.
Cirrus, someone is going to regret this.
Well, I'm not going to regret it, Xena. I'm just going to be here to love this. So Cirrus is dead. We have to go and save a bunch of hostages here. At this point, you know, we're trying to figure out why these pirates are attacking villages and help out. Why did you whack me? You usually leave me alone. Okay, let's save this hostage. And now you get your first instance of third-person chakram action. Mm-hmm. Bam. Woo. Good stuff. Did I kill that hostage? Nope. They're saved. Okay. Okay, one of the hostages was not appearing. There we go. I guess one hostage is just not going to show up. Today's going to be a weird day of Xena. That's what I'm feeling.
So they can just not show up sometimes. They just don't spawn in, or?
We'll go ahead and save this hostage. They get freed really fast, and then the key shows up. Good. Cool.
All right.
Very little time lost. I just had some dumb... And then we're good. We're good. We saved enough of the hostages. Yeah, sometimes, well, it's like if you're too close to where they are, if your camera is looking where they're going to spawn, sometimes they just won't spawn. It was more a placement issue on my part, but
okay.
Whatever. We'll just blame Electronic Arts because they made this. EA? Now, this is their best game by far. I do not know why they don't talk about this game but they should. It's so good. Okay, so here we really get some of the first of the very difficult platforming. 3D platforming is not fun, but there's some ways to make it more consistent. The part by the water, essentially I did it by... Okay, there we go. 2 kicks, bam. I did it by holding run and jumping, and then these other blocks here, you don't hold run, and you jump, and you pretty much always make it. There's some sort of weird targeting that happens when you jump to help her land on things. I love that the lady there just screams, "I'm too young to die," as she's getting her throat slit. It's a little brutal, but you know, we didn't save her. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of this dude. He has a key. He's dead. Good. I'll just kill these dudes while we wait for the key to spawn. Okay, there we go. Oh, go away. Stop it. Why? Don't call me a wench. I'm not a wench. I'm Xena. Xena warrior print. Yeah, look, I got a sword and a chakram and everything.
Read the title of the game.
Yeah, come on, nerd. Okay, we got a continue crystal, so if for some reason I die, I will come back here. I probably won't die in this area. All I really need to do is kill all of these pirates. There are going to be 2 pirates in blue shirts who show up. There's number 1, there's number 2. After that, there is a tutorial that teaches you how to crotch kick. So we crotch kick him a couple times, kill these dudes, and then get the crotch kicks back out and wrap this fight up. And that should be it. Come on. Yeah, good fight.
Yeah, that seemed fast. That seemed quick.
Yeah, that was a really decent fight. So now, finally, we know Gabrielle, our dear friend, totally just a friend, because in the 90s, you could only have a friend on TV. She's been kidnapped. And so we have to go and help her. And this Cyclops is very angry and throws rocks at us. So obviously, we need to take care of him. I don't know. He's just in the way, so we have to kill him. Gonna grab a sword upgrade right there. And then come chill here for a second and hopefully, okay, we got basically as fast as possible when you grab that upgrade. You know, it does take a little time to go over there, but 5 thrown rocks is as fast as I can possibly do it. So we're doing good. I'm gonna jump around these rocks though, because they all sort of have hurt boxes and they cause problems. I don't like them. Okay, Cyclops fight. Now, I want you to pay attention. How many hands does the Cyclops have? Oh, this is not good. This is bad. This is bad. Okay, I might actually die, which is fine. I got the continue crystal. Oh, I didn't die.
Wow.
He
Clutch.
had, yeah, that was super close. That was ridiculous. I could still die on these rocks, though. Okay, we're good. This is a weird run, okay? Like, all of the weird stuff's coming out, but the Cyclops has an extra hand sticking out of his hand that holds onto the cliff. It's a nice little touch that's very easy to miss. Highly recommended if you didn't see the hand sticking out of his chest. Go back and watch sometime, because as he falls, you get the 3 hands. Okay, so here, this is a bit of a puzzle stage. It's not just action. What we have to do is go to this bridge, but it's being guarded by a golem. So what's a golem's weakness, do you think, Conception?
A golem's weakness is the knees, I'm going to say. It's you gotta hit him in the knees. I don't know.
The knees. Okay. It kind of rhymes with knees. It's bees.
Ah, yeah, see, look, I was only a few letters off.
I know, right? So here we go, bringing the bees over to this golem dude. Come on. And the bees knock him off. Time to go and hopefully not die. Good, we're doing great. Okay.
Beautiful.
So let's go ahead and at the beginning of this next level, there is a power-up that is very easy to miss. Most people are going to miss it the first time that they play this game, understandably, because what you have to do is go towards the camera. Okay, there we go. So now we've got an invincibility power-up that we will use in just a little bit. It makes the next section where I'm trying to free this, or get this bridge to fall down, it makes it a lot safer. So come on, let's get past all these guards. I don't know what, well, they're guarding a bridge, I guess. Okay, good line here.
Catapults. I hate catapults.
Yeah, she hates the catapults, everybody.
Who doesn't?
Well, probably the guys using the catapults, because it's a
probably
really
into
good.
'em.
Yeah, they're like, heck yeah, cat. Oh, I missed. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Not good. There we go. Got it. Okay. The catapult did hit me at the same time, but it didn't deal that much damage. And now on to one of the first places that has had a fairly recent change when it comes to the speedrun, because there's a glitch that you can do. I believe some of the people who have world record discovered this glitch with the chakram. There's a power-up that you can get for your chakram that essentially lets you do super chakram. You throw it all over the place, and bam, 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 it goes and kills everything. However, after using it once, if you hit select and select it again before it actually starts flying, you're able to essentially do super chakram forever. So we're just throwing our chakram and killing tons of enemies right now. I'm trying to not look at them in order to reduce lag, though, so we're just... it looks like we're just partying on top of this vent, which essentially we are. Hey, dude.
It looks like you're partying on top of the vent, and also everyone is just dying around you. Like, I just keep hearing, like, the grunts and everything.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The chakram is good. Essentially, when using the super chakram, everything dies. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a really good fly. It's going forever. Okay. So, in essence, this place, generally you have to spend a lot of time just killing a whole bunch of enemies, but now most of them are already dead, and we're almost to the boss area of this section. So here we go. Is it? Yep. Holy crap, that was a really good level. Okay. So luckily, because we've got infinite chakrams, we can just go ahead and keep using super chakram, and bam, 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 bam. They're so gonna be dead. This is easily the fastest way to handle these dudes. They've got very, very good defense. And there we go. This guy, we don't have to die. He turns into a minotaur. It's complicated. We're skipping the cutscene because this is a speed run. There are really, really good cutscenes and very cheesy voice lines in this game. Again, I recommend people try playing it because it's ridiculous. It's so good. But, like, it really follows the spirit of the show, I think. The show is over the top. Have you ever watched Xena Conception?
I have. I watched it with my dad when I was younger a little bit. Yeah.
Heck yeah. It's so over the top, though, huh?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I feel like the game actually captures a lot of that style, a lot of the silly nature here. Okay, we hit a mummy that falls down onto a switch and opens the door to go save Gabrielle, because that's how you open doors in Xena.
You gotta drop mummies.
You gotta drop the well, I guess he was more like maybe not a mummy and more a spider victim. I don't know. He's not doing so well. That's the biggest thing. Okay. So now we just have a very long way to go through the Minotaur's maze in order to get to Gabrielle. You're going to see the Minotaur here, though, and we will jump in order to avoid getting knocked down. Saves a little bit of time. If we're fast enough, he should not spawn in this hallway, and we're looking pretty good. Okay, and then he will spawn in a third location after going through all of this. I'm being careful here so that I don't fall. Okay, here we go. Jump. And now it is Minotaur time. Let's see if I can do this right. Okay. Throwing it there, I will hopefully be able to hit him as it flies back and deal a little bit of damage. There we go. Okay, that's okay. Getting knocked down is normal. One more chakram hit and he's dead. Woo. And there we go. We found our friend Gabrielle. Good face right there. I love you, Xena.
That is a good face. Good faces in gaming.
Here is an area with a glitch that I found. It's a little bit tricky to pull off. Last time I did this on Hotfix, essentially everything went wrong and I wasn't able to do it because Xena just decided to be Xena. So biggest thing, I don't want Gabrielle to really get in the way here. I don't want her killing anybody. I want these Amazons to follow me to the door. Okay. Normally you're supposed to go and break a whole bunch of pots in order to find a key, but we don't want to do that. Instead, we just want to jump right there and go through the door and we're done.
Beautiful.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah. If you do not get it the first time, it's very difficult. The enemies just have to line up correctly in order to push you through. So, yeah, that was as perfect as it could have been. I didn't get it right earlier today during practice either. So that feels really good to be able to get that first shot.
Oh, absolutely.
Heck yeah. So here, you're going to hear Gabrielle yell a lot about where Xena is. The more she yells, the better you're doing, because she's very far behind you. Okay. Where
Listen
are
to
you?
Yeah. Wow, you're doing so well then.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Okay, here we go. Very small chance of getting that to go really fast, and it looks like this was a pretty good section. Good cutscene there as well. Unfortunately, we have to skip it. Now, this is the second use of the chakram glitch here. It very much speeds this up. Last time I did this on Hotfix, though, this fight was a mess because the boss's AI got stuck. So we're just going to hope that doesn't happen. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get the glitch activated just to make sure I've got it. Good. Okay, I've got infinite chakram now. So, gonna go ahead and just kill a whole bunch of Amazons real fast. They are causing problems. We gotta deal with it. Oh, come on. Just die, please. Thank you. Yeah, the old way to do this, actually fighting everything, took so long. So just using this glitch is a huge improvement. Okay. And the Amazon Queen should be showing up very soon.
Since a queen
Yeah.
must be
There you are.
sacrificed
So with the
to
infinite
crown the
chakram, is it like, so like if you throw a chakram, there's not an enemy on your screen or nearby you. Does it just try to find the nearest enemy? Is that how it works?
If there is no enemy available to be hit by the chakram, it sort of just goes back into your hand. It doesn't go anywhere. Come here, Amazon print. Oh, come on. Okay. So the Amazon Queen, essentially, she's revealed that she's doing stuff for the New World Order, blah, blah, blah. We have to sacrifice a queen. Gabrielle is a queen, so she wants to sacrifice Gabrielle, which is the whole reason she's been kidnapped. So we now know the New World Order is really trying to kill our friend so that they can just start everything. Okay. There we go. She's been dead. We killed her. JK, she's not actually dead, and we get thrown into the bowels of hell. Yeah.
Bowels of hell.
Game, it really escalates really quickly here. Okay. And what else is in the deep cavern but a dragon? It is time to fight a dragon, everybody. That's right.
It's about time.
This is not any more ridiculous than the show. This probably happened in the show at least once. So this is another puzzle fight that takes people a little while to figure out. There are a lot of notes throughout each of the stages that give you hints and give you information for what to do. What we're doing is luring him over these hot spots and then hitting the stalactites that are above them in order to kill him. And there we go. He is dead. Let's see if I can get close to the wall during that cutscene. Okay. Or the door. Not too bad. Okay. And bam, really good dragon fight. These next levels, though, get very difficult. You're going to see on the bottom left is my health. The sword is my health. When it gets filled with red, I'm dead. Red means dead, okay? So red dead. And you're going to see a lot of red for my health bar in these stages because, hoo boy, we are entering a very dangerous area where we're going to be walking on lava a lot. And lava hurts. Oh, geez. Okay, that was yeah. Everything in this area gets very sketch very quickly. Very nice jumps, though.
All right.
Okay, good. There's a switch over here that we came for. Gonna grab that bottle of health right there. This guy may kill me. He's killed me both times I played earlier today practicing. And if he does, that's fine. Whatever. Because there is a continue crystal, so one death, I'll get over it. Okay, there we go. Got the continue crystal. Let's get up here and lure this nerd out, and hopefully we can get him close to where we have to hit him. Because I gotta hit him off. Yeah, that was so good. That was so good, everybody. This is a run. Yeah.
That was awesome. Well done. So fast.
It usually doesn't go that fast. I gotta be honest. This level is notorious for ending runs. The Traps of Karen. However, it's gotten a little bit easier just because of the lava jumping strats here at the beginning. Got to go across the lava to lower the lava wall by hitting the switch. Switches, walls of lava, very common thing. Okay. And just actually getting all of the angles right for these jumps is very, very tricky. Whew. Okay. I'm not used to having this much life here, so this is going well. Okay. Across that, the camera goes into a fixed angle, and it's a little bit trippy. Most people end up falling and dying the first time they go across these. I could still die because the bats will stun you if they run into you. Grab the continue crystal just in case the game decides it doesn't want to play nice. Oh, geez. Come on, hit the freaking switch. There we go. Third-person chakram, very, very difficult. Oh, bats, no. Oh, you wanted me dead, didn't you? Okay, cutscene right here with Ares, one of the characters in Xena, Ares, God of War. Very, very important, but we're going to ignore him as much as possible because he is annoying. And now the level that I am most likely... I'd say the second hardest level in the speedrun right here. Hardest level is the second to last level in the run. I will probably die, but let's see if I can do this without dying. So what we do, Karen, we got to ring the bell in order to get the boat to come over. However, we're not actually going to ride Karen's boat. Instead, we're going to go across the lava because it's faster. Okay. I'm not dead yet, so that's good. Good. Not dead. These guys, if they hit me, I'm dead. Okay. Not dead. This, I have to step on a switch and watch the pattern. If I go the wrong way, it doesn't matter how much life I have. I will die. Okay. So let's go across here. Okay, good. And then the enemies coming up are also all one-hit kills if they get me. Don't go in the lava, Xena. That's bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to do this section. So right now, what I have to do is hit all of the torches here. I'm trying to get more than one in a single go so that I can save a little time. That got very sketch, but we're good.
That close.
Yeah. That was very close. I was worried it wasn't going to work out, but we're through. Okay. Wow. We get a little bit of a breather now, okay? This is being a very good run. Okay, we're in the mountains now, though, okay? Mountains. This level, there's a chance I could die because of one jump in it, and if I do, it's really just because of bad physics. It's not my fault, I promise. But here we go. We're now in the mountains. For some reason, hell takes us to the mountains. That bridge doesn't work so well, but you have to hit that in order to clear the way so that we can jump over there. So now we're going to go and find where that bridge was and then go and jump over that hole. And as long as I don't do anything dumb, I usually can do this jump fine. But there's also a chance that I do something dumb. Okay, you going to hit me first? Good. Okay, usually getting hit before doing that jump makes it a lot safer. So we are good. We are finished with the village. Now the stealth mission.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're not going to...
Wouldn't be a PlayStation title without some stealthing going on.
It's stealth and escort. First off, you learn that if you go behind enemies and attack them, you can one-hit KO them. However, we're not going to do any of that. And there's really only one place in the speedrun where the one-hit KO is useful, and unfortunately, it's super unreliable. But if I manage to pull it off today, that'll be cool. Okay, so here, we're supposed to go find this old dude and escort him over to this door so that he can open it. But instead, we're gonna try... Are you gonna let me through? There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. get him to push us through the door. So there we go. Now, this level is pretty sketch as well. There's a druid dude who we have a mini fight against him and then sort of a puzzle fight in order to kill him. This level gets fairly sketchy fairly fast if things don't go well. So I'm grabbing health on our way over and accidentally grabbing that. Whatever. I don't care. Okay. But yeah, I want to make sure that I have enough health going into this that there's a chance I can live. Unfortunately, he is turning me into ice, and that is very, very rude. How dare you? So actually, because he keeps warping, we sort of have to time the attacks in order to get it when he's not going to warp. Okay. That should be good. Okay.
The near T-posing as he floats around.
Heck yeah. Good poses. He just summoned some skeletons, so I'll want to take care of them. Okay. Gonna try to turn me into ice, huh? Okay, and there we go. That was a really, really decent fight. Okay, now, instead of going a whole way over to this crystal, let's hit it. Unfortunately, that was a little bit too early. Okay, there we go. Crystal hit, opening this door over here where the druid ended up going. So we got to go find Druid Man and hopefully not let any of the other enemies into the room. Wow. Good job. Okay. I'm just complimenting myself. You got to compliment yourself from time to time, you know?
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go. I'm trying to change these icons to be the correct icons. There we go. Okay. And this should be the last one. Let's just go ahead and get it lined up. And very, very nice level. Woo! Okay, now it's time for the Gorgons. AKA Medusa's sisters, you know, they turn you to stone. They usually aren't too scary until you start hitting them, in which case they essentially get stunned and try to run away from you for a few seconds, and then they start doing their stone ray, which will take away your health extremely fast. So if I can get wedged into their hitbox here and kill them before they even have a chance to do that ray, that is optimal. So there we go. Sister 1 down. We've got 2 more, as well as a whole bunch of harpies that could just kill me at any point because these are the worst. Okay. Got past the harpies. Now there's a second Gorgon over here. Just so that I'm safe, let's go ahead and grab the continue crystal and yeah, I want to have a chance of actually completing the run. Please die. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She's gonna kill me. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That's why I got the continue crystal. Okay. Yeah, that was super trolly. Oh, are you? Yeah, I want to say swears. Okay, that's fine. We're through. I do have an invincibility power-up that I'll be using against the third one, though, and that makes it a lot more reliable. It's just I didn't want to use it quite yet. There's also this continue crystal. You have to pick it up before she even appears.
Oh, so the game knew this fight was going to be an interesting one, at least.
I know, right? Okay, here we go. Can you just stay still? There we go. Unfortunately, this part could get a little bit sketchy because I am already out of invincibility, and there are harpies coming up. Harpies are not too scary, except that they can just send you flying when they hit you. Okay, 3 sisters down. We're on to the second to last level. This is easily the hardest level in the game. Last time I did this on the hotfix, I think I did this level like 5 or 6 times. If I can do it on my first try, then that will be amazing. If I do it on my second or third try, then heck yeah. Okay. Come on. How about you don't do that, huh?
So rude.
Stop it. Yeah, I know. He's absolutely a butt, but now he's a dead butt. Okay, chat, I need you to help keep track. Five is the number. Yes.
5. All right, I'm gonna remember
5.
that.
Okay, we're gonna get another number in just a second. You know, if this guy behaves, we'll get another one. Okay. Come here, dude. Don't be this way. Okay, there we go. 5-1. 5-1. Okay, that's the order that we need so far. 5-1. I could just die here because these harpies are a butt, as you're seeing. Please stop it. Please. I really, really would like a good level. Please. Okay.
All right, health and a continue crystal. That feels okay.
We're not out of the park yet. Oh, come on. Just get down. We're not out of the woods, out of the park. I don't know. We're still in trouble.
Okay.
Okay, this whole level is trouble. Okay, here we go. Ogre number 3, if he is an ogre, he's just gonna whop me like that. Okay, let's try. Could you stop it?
That harpy. All right.
Oh my gosh.
At least it's
he
flat
killed
on the
the
ground.
harpy, so that's
Yeah.
nice. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Okay. And I'm just gonna die so that I get a health refill. Okay, 514.
514.
514. Okay. I wasn't. Technically, there are other health pickups, but I think that was the best call to do this quickly. Okay, 514. Okay. There are 2 more ogres, and this harpy apparently that could kill me. Okay, we're good. We're
Backed
good.
off. Okay, good.
Good. Okay, ogre number 4. That
Wow,
was
really good.
That was a really good one. 51423. Oh, that is hideous.
51423. 51423. All right.
I just was trying to take care of that harpy, so hopefully it doesn't kill me. 51423. That's our order today. Okay. Okay, we're fine. 51423. Let's not die on my way over there. Please. I'm concerned because this jump has killed me a few times. Okay, we got it. Okay.
All right.
Okay, 5.
5-1.
This is the worst pattern I think I've ever seen for these.
4,
51423. 2, 3. Okay, we're good.
Since you have the lyre,
Okay.
use it to open the gate.
I know. Thank you, Ares.
Hey, we did
Okay,
it.
there's a chance this is going to be a PB/RTA world record. So let's
okay.
go. This is the last level, okay? It's still not over. But could you just die, dude? You know, I know that you've got a scythe and all, but seriously, it would be so cool if you just died.
This one does not want to go down.
There we go. Okay. Please stop that, Xena. Okay. Let's grab the invincibility and use it real quick. Okay. I don't want to be fighting you out here because it's really hard to actually land hits. But I'll do it if I need to. Oh my gosh. Por favor, just die. Calibrax, stop it. There we go.
I think
Okay, now it's time. Okay, this is where the real fun starts, okay? Because everybody, Twilight Princess. That's what we've got now.
Yeah, Xena Twilight Princess.
Xena Twilight Princess, indeed. Okay. Please knock the pillars over. Thank you very much. I still have the crystal, the continue crystal here. So if I die, it's fine. And I am playing a little bit risky to try to get her to run at me a little bit faster. Come on. Come out here. Come on, Calibrax. You know you want to. There's a pillar. Unfortunately, there are times where she almost hits a pillar but doesn't quite actually break it, and that can be a problem. She's behaving. She's behaving more or less. Come on, Calibrax. Come here. There's pillars. Okay, another one. Nope.
No, not that one.
That's okay. Come on, Calibrax. There are two lovely, delicious pillars here. I know you want to come get that one. Very nice. She might kill me here. Okay, Calibrax, right here. It's fine. Come get me. Okay. And if she kills me, I will get warped back to the beginning. Get ready on time, by the way. And my gosh, is it gonna be time, please? There we go, time.
It took a sweet time at the end there, huh?
Holy crap. That's how it normally goes.
Okay.
3707. What's my best? This is ridiculous. Yeah, everybody, you need to see the final here. Okay. My best is 39:28. So
wow, you crushed
PB
it.
by almost 2.5 minutes.
Are you all
Wow.
And RTA world record, we got it.
Oh, I'm fine.
Wow.
Just
Congratulations.
fine.
Absolutely
Oh my gosh.
annihilated your previous record.
Listening to
Wow.
that bimbo rant
My
all day
freaking
about taking over
crap.
the world. They gave me nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and the smell of those black vipers would make a barbarian sick.
Speaking of food, I'm hungry. Sacred black vipers. I hear these things taste like chicken. Not bad. If you can get around the smell.
Now that's disgusting.
What a beautiful ending. I'm so happy. 31:02 in-game time, and 37:07 in real time. Like, this is ridiculous. This was such a good run. There is also the Xena theme song. I don't think we can play it, but it plays during the credits. Just in case you love that, you should definitely listen to it. Xena Warrior Princess PS1, incredibly fun, I think. I've been playing this for years. My last PB was 6 years ago. So, we finally beat a 6-year-old RTA world record, and I am very happy about that conception. Oh my gosh.
Yes. You should be. You should be. Yeah. I mean, by almost 2.5 minutes. That's wild. That's so much time.
That's so much time. This was so good.
Yes.
Oh, everybody. Yeah. There's not really a Xena running community because I just run various bad video games, but over on my channel we have bad video game tournaments. I love the weird and the jank. This is my longest speed run. I don't think I'll ever actually completely stop playing this game. It will always come back. But feel free to follow me. Seriously, I'm going to be at the Hotfix grudge match at TwitchCon on Saturday, by the way. If any of you are over at TwitchCon, please come say hi to me. I'm going to be bored. If you're not, you should at least watch it on Saturday because we put so much work into getting a crew together to make that happen. It's going to be so much fun. And also, I run a show here on GDQ every other Friday. I had mine last Friday, and I'll have mine in a little over a week and a half. Yeah. Anything else, Conception?
You know what? I'll do a little plug on your behalf if that's okay, because I just got to not long ago run in my first Big Bad Game-a-thon. That I've never run in it before, and it was just so much fun. And there was so much really goofy games, really fun content on there. A lot you might have seen on the show before and a lot that you haven't. So definitely give them a follow as well, especially if you're somebody who tunes into this show specifically. I'm sure you will have a good time over at Big Bad Game-a-thon as well.
Yeah, we have that once a year. We wrapped up in September. We'll be having it again next September. And honestly, the weird things that people send in, I always get surprised by games. There are just so many weird, bizarre, fun games out there. Seriously, everybody should play some because oftentimes they're less competitive, they're more chill, and you get to see wonderful cutscenes like this. Oh my gosh.
What a
it's
face.
Hideous. Well, thank you so much, Conception, for having me. And yes, we got the RTA world record, so I'm happy.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations once again. Yes, I hope you all enjoyed the RTA world record run of Xena Warrior Princess for the PS1. Now, we are going to take a little quick break here, but before we get into that break, I wanted to remind everybody that Games Done Quick is hiring. So if you happen to be a business developer or have experience in recruiting sponsorships and would like to work for GDQ, feel free to apply at gamesdonequick.com/jobs. And we are going to take a little bit of a break here, so feel free to get up, stretch, maybe do some combat rolls with a sword, safely, of course, in your own home. And we will see you on the other side of this break in just a few short moments. All right, welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. I hope you have been enjoying the show so far. And how could you not? We just got an RTA world record of Xena Warrior Princess run by Brosentia, an incredible run. Things went just right. You know, we love to see that. And we've been having a blast here so far. Before we jump into our next run of this awfully fantastical evening that we're rolling around with, if you did happen to miss the Xena Warrior Princess run, or for that matter, any of our other Hotfix shows or past events like Flame Fatales this past summer, be sure to go on over to youtube.com/gamesdonequick and check out the VODs. You can always check them out there and come see them. As a reminder as well, if you happen to be watching live on Twitch with us, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy this daily speedrunning content. We appreciate it. Without further ado, so we had Xena Warrior Princess. Now, this one is fantastical and not the same way. You know, it's not like medieval fantasy, but it's fantastical in the way that, like, dreams are fantasy, if that makes any sense. I stretched the theme a little bit this time, I'm going to be honest, but I wanted this run in here and I needed to find a theme for it, and this seemed to make as much sense as any other theme that I could think of. And we have Weird Dreams run by Flannel Cat. Flannel Cat, the floor is yours. Show us this gem of a game.
I think you might be the very first person to ever say, yeah, Weird Dreams made sense.
Yeah, it makes sense for this show. That's the only format in which it would make sense, I feel like.
But hello, everybody. Welcome. I am still Flannel Cat. Wait, I am Flannel Cat. Well, I was, and I am before, and still am now. What, you know, semantics.
Huge.
I have a video game for you. It's Weird Dreams, which has only graced, I think, this channel once before, maybe twice. I think once. I don't know. But I think this game's pretty cool. I think it's neat. how do you feel about this video game? I think you just said that part, but
it's like, it's called Weird Dreams, but I kind of in my mind call it Fever Dreams, the video game. That's what it feels like to me. Just from a fan, but I've never played it. Just watched your run of it, and I think it's enjoyable. I'm excited for it.
All right, so you got the baseline. You watched the run. You're ready.
Yes. Yes. I watched it one time.
That's all you need. You get the whole story. So technically, I don't know what category is up there, but technically we call it All Dreams because sometimes there's a glitch where it skips a dream and we don't know why, and we don't take advantage of it because this game isn't. It is a very difficult run in the form that, like, this game is very difficult to play, but you want to see all of it. You don't speedrun it to skip anything. You want to show everyone the whole video game, because of course you do. So, basically, you've read the 25-page backstory in the manual already, right?
Yeah, and everyone in chat did too, so we're all prepared.
Right, excellent. So I'm not going to bother explaining that.
Time. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Yes, of course.
That is not a joke, by the way. That is a real thing that exists. So
the joke is that none of us read it, actually.
Don't say that. Now I need to read. No.
Oh.
All right. Well, I think I've got the right button. This is a DOS game, so I'm playing with my keyboard. So I think I've got all the right buttons. It uses a surprising variety of them. So we're gonna count in it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So apparently the story that all of you read in the book is about like this guy is having some sort of weird dreams. Apparently he's haunted. There's apparently 2 conflicting stories about the backstory of this game, and don't worry about it. So it's going to open up in a cotton candy machine, as is per, normal things. And there's just going to be a loud tone in the background. And I can stop this tone, but I'm not going to. So we're going to try to get out of here at first. Or not, actually. We might actually game over, because this game, every time you die, it goes back to the screen.
Hey, we get to see it again.
But we are going to, we're going to do something to stop that. We just want to get out of this cotton candy machine. If this was like, I don't know, a world record paced run, we would try to do something in here for now. But this is a marathon run. We're going to play it safe so, the game actually ends. There's stuff to do here. You'll see it soon. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. We're just going to flee the carnival. We will be back at the carnival later. Don't worry, carnival fans, I got you. So what we're going to do right here is, this is a Hall of Mirrors. It's a hub world. So we're going to immediately, first thing we do, we're going to cheat.
Oh, we're cheaters.
We didn't do it right. So in order to get unlimited lives, you need to be about halfway into this mirror. If I walk too far in, it's going to put me into a stage, and that's going to be bad. And then you need to tap out SOS on your numpad on the plus button. In Morse code.
I'm sorry, you need Morse code to succeed at the speedrun?
You get unlimited lives if you tap out SOS on your numpad on the plus button in Morse code while you're halfway into that right side of the mirror. Fun fact, every screenshot on the back of this box has unlimited lives. None of the screenshots on the back of this game box that they sold in stores uses normal amount of lives to take the screenshots, which honestly says something a little louder about whether or not this game is completable. So we're just going to clean up our rose bush here. Don't worry about it. So there are multiple attacks we can do here. What I'm doing is holding control and hitting like up, down, left, or right to swing. And if we didn't have unlimited lives, every time we died, we'd get sent back to the to that hub room, which is not great. I don't love it. Actually, honestly, when I was de-rusting this earlier, I got through this rose bush on my first try. It was pretty cool.
Not being so favorable this time, but that's okay.
Nope.
Oh, there we go.
So there are 4 different attacks I can do, and you can kind of do that lunge to bait out the rose and then take a swing at it. But there's also this attack here. There's this attack. There's this one and this one, depending on what direction you hit. I don't know what this is for. This doesn't hit anybody. And hey, do you like playing catch?
Who doesn't?
Let's just play catch with this little girl for a while.
Seems normal.
Also, this is probably the only music in, well, one of 2 instances of music in this game.
I saw that.
Saw what? You saw nothing.
I saw nothing. Okay. All right. Yep. Just still normal. Yep.
She's
all
just-
normal.
We're just playing ball with this girl. It's fine. This is the run. This is genuinely what you're supposed to do. This is not me doing a bit.
This is progressing.
All right, so this is actually, oh dear. Okay, well, let's just die. And that's fine. She's got a knife, but, you know, who doesn't?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm trying to
This is all
position
normal to me.
our checker pajama friend right on the right spot. There's like a visual cue where this might kill me. No, it won't. Yay. That is easier to catch these things. And he keeps stepping one too many steps forward, which makes that happen.
Oh.
The soccer ball is hungry, friends.
Evil Pac-Man.
There we go. That's the spot I think I want. And in order to do that, you kind of have to interrupt your movement. And like I said, remember, if you die at any point in this game without unlimited lives, you get sent back to the hub world and you have to do the whole thing again. You have to go through the whole rose bush, then this whole part again. And then if you finish this section, then you get a checkpoint. But also you still have 5 lives.
Yeah, this already seems cruel in terms of like beatability.
Yeah, even with playing with unlimited lives, someone's first time through this game, even with the instructions on what to do, usually you get stuck here for a while. Oh, we moving? We moving? She's moving. Okay, we're good. We're just gonna hold on to this for now. She's gonna, okay. Goodbye, lady.
Yeah.
And now the soccer ball has eaten her and we have deposited it in our inventory. In order to leave the screen, we need to hold control and hit up at that exact spot. If you hit up, nothing will happen. You need to hold control. All right, let's go to the left. So all of these mirrors are different places you can go, and you need to complete all of them. These are all the quote-unquote dreams. So this section, you're supposed to jump up and catch a fish, but since we have unlimited lives, the game acts a little bit differently. So you can just leave the screen, and you just have a fish now. Congratulations, we have a fish. I really miss jumping to get the fish because it was fun and frustrating at the same time. So we just need to proceed to the side of the screen. It's going to be, I think, 3 screens of these. And the attacking hitboxes of your character are not very precise, but once you get to a certain point on the right side of the screen, they stop spawning. So we're just going to hopefully... Oh, that was good.
Ooh,
that was
double
good.
whack. Yeah.
We take that safety right there. We need to swing this up and down, which is a great way to defend. Just in case something spawns in right at the edge of the screen like that. Nope. Goodbye. All right, now we've got the foot goblins. Now, these have slightly different patterns. There's going to be 2 of them. That one you could just hold forward and control and you're fine. This one's a little more precise and mean. So we're going to try to line up with this thing. Hit it once, and now hold up. It doesn't work every time, but it certainly worked that time.
There you go.
Those things are a lot harder than they look. All right, so this screen, in a speedrun where you're trying to go for world record, you just book it to the right side of the screen and try to jump over this thing moving left and right. For a while, we thought that this was never going to be able to be put into a marathon because you have to jump over this thing with precision, and that's impossible. I like to find very, very, very marathon-safe things. And what I learned, is this is not hitting the statue, is that it doesn't go all the way to the left side of the screen. Is that hitting the statue? Why is the statue not taking damage? Conception, what did you do to this game?
Oh, you know, it was me. Yeah, this game was perfectly stable before I was around. Yeah.
I'm trying to break the statue so I can get its delicious orb, and it's not doing it. All right, go right. No. So this thing is complete RNG movement. Go right, please. No.
That's left. That's more left.
If it touches you, you get sent back to the lobby for the record.
Oh, fun.
Why is this statue? I don't know. Also, if you hold left for too long, you'll start running, and if you leave the screen, you'll just be at the beginning of the desert again. Oh, now it's taking damage. Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Yep, I saw some debris. I saw debris.
No. But it never goes past that line right there that it stopped at, which is great, which makes this room manageable without having to come back here and reset, because this is just basically you reset at this part if it doesn't go your way. I don't trust this thing.
It seemed for good reason you didn't trust that thing.
Oh, also your jump is not amazing. This is your jump, and that's what you need to do to get over it. You cannot move to the left or right during your jump No!
No.
Oh! Everything was audio balanced except for that yelp. So, my apologies to those at home. Anyway, so like the
One
world
more
record of this game
time.
is like 10 minutes. If everything goes well, it goes pretty quickly. But for it going well is basically just a dice roll with like you're trying to roll a 12 with dice with only 5 sides.
Seems favorable.
Although like a lot of the weird hitbox stuff you get acquainted to, and like I've never seen the desert go so well. But at least up into that part. Like we didn't take a single hit on the foot goblins. We got through this pretty easily.
Yeah, it was going too well was the problem, yeah.
Oh, okay. We're close enough. We're close enough. We're good. We're good.
I also really like that our main character here swings the fish like he's in a pillow fight.
You know, that's a great way to put the attacks. Oh, good.
Yeah.
It just didn't want to take hits. It's fine. All right, here we go. Everything's going to be fine. Surprisingly fine. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
All right,
foot
so
goblins.
just hold control, hold forward. This one's easy. He gets knocked back further than the other one. So this one, we're going to hit right, we're going to hit down, then we're going to hold up and pray. Well, this isn't going to go my way.
Yum, 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 yum.
Come on. Okay, this should be good. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
that looks nice.
Yeah, it's neat. There's a rhythm to it. And so, we're just going to run forward and jump, but not actually this time. I don't want to lose this run immediately. But this is why we have a 20-minute estimate on a 10-minute game. It's cool. All right, first try. There we go. So we have to wait for the orb to ascend. It shows up in our inventory. Then you can go in the thing.
Okay.
Now,
Whew.
we still have that soccer ball. You start to move very slowly on this screen, so you need to tap plus on the numpad to deposit the soccer ball into the weird sand to make it normal sand so you can leave, or else you get run over by a... what happens? The fish jumps out of your hand and eats you.
Of course it does.
All right, so now we're going back to the cotton candy machine. I promise you, everybody, we'll take you to the carnival. So normally, you would need to get a bunch of cotton candy stuck to you, then leave the machine, and then use your cotton candy out here in the world. On a world record run, you need to do it on your first try flawlessly, otherwise it won't work. So what we're going to do this time is, since we've got unlimited lives, we're going to get murdered by the bee. And what it's going to do is put a whole bunch of cotton candy on our body for some reason. So you don't need to collect it in the machine. So we're just going to feed this bee. I know it's a hornet. It's a bee. We're going to feed it cotton candy, and it's going to be so thrilled about it.
Bee's favorite food.
We want this orb. We want this orb. So we're going to die here, and it's going to put us back on the screen with a bunch of cotton candy. We're going to feed it to the bee. Here, buddy. I got it just for you. All right, so now we're going to wait. We're going to wait for it. Once it eats its last piece of cotton candy. Come on. All right, away. No!
No, too early.
I was too close.
Too close, okay.
2, 3. If I don't know actually, but I think if you try to hit it before feeding it the last piece of cotton candy, it will not leave the screen. All right, 2. Eat the last piece. Out! Out! Away! All right. You need to get that orb on the first try, because if you leave the screen before it ascends to the top, you don't get it. And if you get killed by the bee before you leave, you don't get the orb. All right, so now the out of order sign is missing on this, and we're going to enter the worst screen of the game. Oh, the worst few screens. Welcome to a piano. It's fine. This one's fine. It's really hard to tell someone why this screen is so difficult until they start to play it. And I know I just got through it without a problem. Don't worry about that. That's not the hard one. But we're going to get a harder version of that in a minute. And what we're going to do is just... Oh, I almost just walked right through that. what we're going to do is pause buffer to try to get a good pattern away. This we just need to walk past. There's a pattern to it. You can usually just hold right and you're fine. Eventually.
Eventually.
There we go.
Hey.
All right, so now this is the terrible screen. So we're going to be pause buffering through this. These keys come up very quickly. Your character does not stop on a dime. Your character walks a few steps forward after you let go of forward. Unless you jump. So we're going to pause buffer and not take any unnecessary risks. Also, there is no pattern to the keys. We have studied this quite a while. You can be on the far right side of the screen, and the piano key in front of you will just repeatedly come up until you're on the left side of the screen. But that was amazing, actually. So
Yeah, that seemed to go quite fast.
now we're just going to get this eel. We just need to grab it when it's not electric. Come on, buddy. And we have been electrified by the eel. It's cool. I got to get this eel, so it's very important. All right, we got the eel. Now we can just leave. Now, what do you do with an eel? What would you do with an eel?
You know, like those little gag toys where you have that like shock buzzer in your hand, you shake somebody's hand? That, but the eel's in my hand.
It's a little bit like that, but we're going to fight this bee, and it's going to make this noise the whole time.
Woo!
Now, you
It's like
want
a
to
stun
soften it up
baton.
with the lunges, but the lunges can't kill the bee. But you'll notice it gets sent back further every time. And now it's going to wait for it to get close, and then use an upswing and knock out the bee and go in the wrong door.
Whee! Wrong door.
I went in the wrong door. Where am I? Okay, this is fine. I did not mean to go in here. I can make this. I'll make the sound stop because I forced you to do it 3 times. Forced you to hear it twice now. You just pause and unpause. All right, we're just gonna walk away. We don't need anything in here. We've defeated the bee in this room. I have no idea if I need to do the piano room again. I usually don't make an error. Oh, okay, cool. We can just leave. We just go. Okay, now welcome to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up, everybody. And do you eat a turkey sometimes?
I do.
All right, big fan of turkey. Anyone in chat can raise your hands. Oh, that's a bat there. I forgot about ducking against those. If you like turkeys, let's get some turkey hype in chat.
Yeah, can we get some turkeys in the chat?
First, we just got to hit this sign that says press to get rid of the bats. And now the bats will stop being at the ceiling and they will be on the floor now. And we want to jump over them. They're pretty easy to get. Well, they're not actually. Nothing about this game controlling is pretty easy.
Yeah, that does not look intuitive.
All right. All right, turkey's here. Let's go.
Oh, I hate it.
This is what happens when the turkey catches you. It's fine. So we get killed because it puts us in a position to just jump twice, and we're fine. So now we just got to get over it.
I like eating turkey, not when turkey eats me.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like in your dreams you have a choice.
Yeah, I guess not. Oh.
This is actually, you need to hit left and right, and it is much harder than it looks for no reason. Now just imagine doing this with 5 lives and a warp back to the lobby every time you make an error. All right, we're past it. Everything is fine now. We're coming up on the final boss. First, we need to get our final orb, which is just in this clock here. We got an orb, and now you need to enter the left side of this door, and if you do it at the wrong time, this is what happens. Notice the foot tapping.
You're impatient about being eaten in half.
All right, so what you need to do is enter when the clock is on the left side of the pendulum. The pendulum is on the left. Never mind, I just lied to you all, I guess. I said enter the door when the pendulum's on the left.
There it is. There it is. Beautiful.
All right, now time for a very exciting, thrilling final boss fight. Conception. I'm going to need some music for this fight because there is none.
What does that mean? Do I have to sing something?
You have to beatbox something. I don't know.
Huh.
Make fish.
Brains. Eyes. Fish. Orbs.
Honestly, way better and should have been in the game. So what you need to do is hit these little spinning brains when the eye is open in front of it, and time is going to be when I hit the final one, and it's going to slowly enter the eye, and the eye is going to close, and it's going to fade out to white, and the fade out is time. But also, we're just going to get hit by it a bunch because you can't really time this correctly. All right. Swing every time. That's the new plan.
All right.
In practice, I got this in 3 swings. I want everyone to know that. Or it could just never open.
Yeah, that was an eternity.
I ran this in the inaugural Flame Fatales event, the very first one, and we just sat here and watched this thing rotate for like 45 seconds without opening.
Seems like we're challenging that again. Yeah.
All right, we just got to hit it. If you hit it when the eyes close, it just knocks the fish out of your hands. We're just going to swing every single time, and it's going to work one of them. We're getting the hits. It's just, not open. Please? Hey, there we go. Time's going to be, it'll fade out to white. And that is going to be time. And that's why there's a 20-minute estimate on a 10-minute game.
Yeah, that game gave it its darndest to try to make it as hard of a time as possible.
What did our
Also, it looks like Michael Myers.
Oh, what did our I don't want to interrupt the ending. You remember that little girl we shoved in a soccer ball?
Uh-huh.
She's back. And that's it. That's it. That's the game. That's it. That's the whole thing. You did it. I did it. But you watched it. And you supplied some of the
being killed by a girl.
You supplied some of the greatest background music I have ever heard in this video game. I gotta be honest, that was transcendent.
Wow, what an honor! I feel honored to have contributed to this game in some way. For you.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, that's Weird Dreams. It is a game that I ran pretty. I'll call it seriously for a little while, but I love to show it to people that have never seen it before, just because. At no point are you ready for what may come next, or can you predict what happens next?
Entirely not predictable. I've seen it once, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about this."
Well, hey, folks, if you like video games like this, like weird stuff, I like weird stuff. I mostly dedicate my channel to either playing whatever I feel like on any given day, but I really like strange, bizarre games that you would not see anywhere else, or are cursed in some way. So. It's kind of what I'm about. I don't really do a lot of speedrunning content on my channel, but I do have a lot of leftover speedruns. And then every time I say I'm retiring from speedruns, I find another run to run, which has happened successfully every time.
Can't wait to see that pattern continue to repeat. Anything else? Any other plugs or anything before we get set up for a third and final?
You should check out, twitch.tv/flannelcat, flannel.live. I do this for a job. This is my job. I stream every weekday. And I'm a great channel to, it's 1 to 5 Eastern. So, hang out, lurk, or talk. I don't care. Lurk. I'm not your mom. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out. Y'all have a lovely day. Enjoy Virtual Hydlide. It's a better game than you realize. It's a better game than it looks. I'll go with that. But it's genuinely a fun game, and it's the greatest golf RPG you'll ever see. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you all one day again in the future. Bye, everybody.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Flannel Cat, for that. That was, yes, I hope you can realize, like I said, fever dream-esque, but it was a blast for sure to run. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. We are going to start getting set up for our third and final run here, but we are going to take one last little break before we do that. So feel free to get up, stretch, including your arms, and maybe you can catch some fish floating above you, potentially. And if not, either way, we'll see you back in just a few short moments. All right, welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. We've just been having a blast so far in this fantastical episode, as I'm calling it, Awfully Fantastical. We started off with a RTA world record by Brosentia running Xena Warrior Princess. Then you got to see the chaos that Weird Dreams can bring, including me doing an impromptu beatboxing session at the end of it. And now we're going to have a third and final run for this evening. But before we jump into that, if you happen to miss out on those VODs and you're interested after hearing me describe what we've seen so far, you can check those out on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also come on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in checking out our live content, especially this week when we have GDQX live from TwitchCon coming up. So we got some in-person stuff happening. So we hope you can come and check us out over at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. But yes, without further ado, this is a game that I'm sure a lot of Awfully Silly fans or people who enjoy Awful Block or Silly Block type games are familiar with. They might have seen this, but it is nonetheless a classic. And weirdly, in 2 years of the show, I have not had this game on here, and I can't believe it's been that long. But I am finally excited to have Virtual Hydlide on the Awfully Silly stage, rather, and it's going to be run by Mechalink. Mechalink, take it away.
All right, thank you for having me back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was the screen up that whole time so everybody saw the intro? Incredibly compressed intro.
Let's hit it one more time. I think it might have been my face instead of the intro.
So there's both a text intro and a video intro. The video intro is funnier.
Yeah, I think it's worth checking out the intro. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, it's a little heavily compressed, and you'll be able to compare it to the ending and notice that. But it actually, it explains why is Hydlide so brown? Why is everything so brown? But yes, Virtual Hydlide. If you're a fan of early mid '90s CD-ROM games like Xena, Virtual Hydlide's right there. See, look at all this green, right? Like this
colors.
Fairyland has colors, and then it has a storm. But yeah, this is like I think Xena's a little after this, but similar era kind of technology, right? Like Saturn was a little before the PS1, but not by much. Some evil thing. Right, like, and if you played original Hydlide, you will vaguely recognize the intro of Verilus, zapping the princess and her splitting into 3 fairies. Right, like, it's the same thing because this is a remake of the original Hydlide. Right, like, this is straight up a remake of the original Hydlide. That's why it's not just like, Hydlide 4, it's Virtual Hydlide.
Yeah. We're making games as early as 1995. Can you believe it?
And you believe it. 1984 when it was the MSX, 1995 on the Sega Saturn. Not everybody knows that Hydlide on the NES was not the first print of the game. It was a lot better before Legend of Zelda had come out. A lot more impactful, a lot more impressive. All right. So I'm going to show there are 4 difficulties for this game. Pro difficulty I will not be handling on this show. I'm pretty sure I have to add an hour to any estimate of random with pro.
I won't do that to you.
For reasons.
Yeah.
This will be easy. I think I could realistically do hard with some time add, but not a ton of it. But pro is absolutely backbreaking. Medium is just free. I could do medium right now. Anyway, so one of the interesting things of this game is that you can put in a seed, or you can just let the game generate a seed. And like, this is a true randomizer. There are 4 billion possible seeds, the full unsigned maxin of seeds. And we know that, and those seeds are used to generate everything and feed the RNG in game as well. So it's this combination. That RNG is burned to generate the map and all the stuff on it. And then after that, it's just used for everything, for combat and stuff, and so on. Right, so...
I can't believe a game from back then had
usually,
this.
Usually, like, most modern games that we consider, like a randomizer of an NES game, right? Like, it randomizes the game separately from the game's internal RNG. Right, like in this, because the game is threaded together, right? Like the RNG is tied to the seed as well as the generation, right? Which has some interesting side effects. Zophar once thought that if he kept his machine on, he was getting the same RNG, right? Like when realistically, it's because it's the same seed, so he's getting the same RNG, right? Like if you did things exactly the same from the same seed, you would get the same RNG every time, right? Obviously, you can't, but you can get close.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's get this party started. It'll be about 21 seconds from this when we get first control. Oh, it doesn't randomize. The FPS is already randomized. It's whatever the Saturn can handle right now. And this game absolutely pushed the limit of the Saturn, and it did not succeed particularly well at doing so. All right. And go. Good. All right, first thing I want to do is look at the map, just check if there's anything. Okay, that's a possible ruins near here. So we have a compass, which is a huge improvement over the first Hydlide, where you literally didn't know where to go ever. But right, like I said, like this, like brown is a dominant feature, right? Like the gray, the glass is gray with little bits of green at best. Right. So the map there, right, like on easy, you have full access to the map. Each little position on the map, you can, like, there are certain restrictions on how things can be placed. Right. So I'm going towards this position, and it's either the volcanic caverns, which is what it is, or it's the ruins. If it was the ruins, right? Like that would have been great. Now I know that the ruins is in the other dark brown spot at the top of the map near where I'm going. The compass is leading me to the graveyard, which is one of the 2 spots in a forested area. So, right, like it's easy. One reason why you do this is like why you want to clear areas, and this is all dungeons, so we're going to clear every area. Is that it gives you levels. There's no grinding in this game. You just complete objectives to get levels, and levels increase all of your stats. And so that's, right, like, that is legitimate. Oh, hey, no, that's just teleports crystal, okay. Teleport crystal right by graveyard. That is interesting. And there's graveyard. And the door's on the right side for once. Right?
You would think.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
You would think, yeah. You think you wouldn't be necessarily blocked by those flat posts, but you are. Yes, and this was T&E put out a golf game like a year before this. It was that engine that this was written in. If you don't know about game optimization, and not everybody does, right, like you make certain sacrifices to get a game to perform, right? Like you're like, okay, I don't need to render this in real time, or I do need to render this in real time, right? Like I'll, drop frames to, successfully do that, or you'll be the NES and you won't drop frames and like inherently and just lag out when there's too many sprites on the screen, right? Stuff like that. Right, like golf engines typically don't do a lot with, right, like they make pretty things, but they don't do real-time updating of multiple things on the screen, right? Like they're tracking a ball, like going through a course, right? So this is not, that golf engines aren't set up to do the kind of thing that Virtual Hydlide demands, except for rendering a 3D world. They both render a 3D world, but you would not normally choose a golf engine render that 3D world if you wanted to make an action game. And the frame rate that you see is almost assuredly majorly that. They also reuse some assets from the game in this game, mainly voice lines. Sometimes you gotta do what you need to do to get a game done. No shade. Whoa, back up. Is that a ring or a tool? It's a tool. All right, this could be a very good find. Let's see what it was. The map, I want to see the menu. Stone of Fighter, that is actually a big find. It's one of the 2 items you really need to have a fast end game.
Oh, wow. Favorable seed so far.
That's a favorable seed. Graveyard was far away, not great. Vampires close to graveyard, good. And we have that finding the Stone of Fighter is very good. Because in the end, right, like you have to search a generated maze for the item for the stone and a sword, right? Like to get the fastest kills in the end game, and having one of those two already taken care of is just going to speed up that search, right? In theory, right? So that's the hope. Here we have to find 5 magic orbs to touch to unlock the vampire's place. I haven't picked up a weapon yet other than the starting dagger, so I am in fact looking to open a chest here or two, or normally I might not. Because for speed purposes, right, like you only need so much weapon power, and there are certain places where you know you are going to get a weapon. So you don't want to go too far out of the way to kind of just grabbing stuff and opening stuff, but there are certain things that you are absolutely on the lookout for. Right, that Stone of Fighter would be one of them. Right now, we also would prefer to have a weapon that isn't the dagger. That's a little more. That's a nice to have. You can do it with the dagger. Usually not hard to find a weapon in this place. We also need to find the 5 orbs anyway, so we're searching. See the cardboard armor, and like you'll note that he's not actually polygons. Like this is a CD-ROM mocap thing. Yeah. Right. Like this is pixelated. Well, we didn't need gold.
People were pointing it out in the chat too, but I showed in advance of this episode, I showed my wife some screenshots from this game, and she immediately pointed out that the main character looks like the human version of Shrek. And then other people in this chat said the same thing. So I feel that she's vindicated there. That's awesome.
No, I think that's fair.
Human Shrek,
right? Like, yeah, he has a name. The name is officially Jim. He is Jim the Knight. Very heroic name. His name has always been Jim. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they came out with the name for Ultra Hydlide. No, in the MSX version, his name was Jim as well. Always been Jim. One thing that this lost from the original Hydlide is there's no spells. The original Hydlide had 5 spells. Admittedly, one of them was hilarious. Although the worst spell, which is called Turn, and it turns an enemy away from you, is a key part of the current actual NES Hydlide route. Believe it or not, because they use it in their grind. Oh, there's an orb. I'm glad I stuck it out and looked in this room. But yeah, the turn spell is actually key to the sub 15-minute Hydlide run on NES. But there are no spells in this game. You're just sword and board. No 2 weapons. Sword and board, classic knight stuff. And you have what, 5 equipment slots: accessory, sword, shield, armor, and lantern.
And you don't need anything else. That's all you need.
Yeah. Those are the 5 equipment slots. It'd be nice if you had more equipment slots. Wow, we found the orbs. Really? You see this? Very weird. Take it. Don't like not having a better weapon. That's what we're doing today.
You can't get it all.
This looks like the empty room. There we go. Something that's better than the dagger. Not by much.
Club.
Club can be one of 3 things. Either it's a light club, which is just barely better than the dagger, or it's a heavy weapon club, which is significantly better. We will find out when I gear up. We picked up the crucifix. It's the only way to hurt the vampire. You need to be wearing a crucifix to hurt him. It's the heaviest club, which is great. Put on the crucifix, but I take off the armor. Put on this heaviest club. The battle axe, which is my favorite of the 2 heavies. So let's ask this vampire some questions.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And this is please select second player. Second player, please select your character in reverse from the golf game. Vampire's text is.
That's really cool.
Okay, so there are 3 swings in Virtual Hydlide: the B button, the C button, and B plus C. Anyway, that there are 3 swings for every weapon, even if they look the same, right? Like, they have different characteristics. Those are what the 3 attack numbers are on the item screen. Right, so here we get the lantern. Apparently, like 5% of the time you get the super magic lantern, and the rest of the time you get the normal lantern. Great, we're out of here. Got what we needed. I'm fine with the battle axe for basically the rest of the game, because that's what I use in my speed run, my any percent speed run. So I'm not really looking for another weapon. It does have drawbacks. It's slow. It's heavy, but it's sufficient.
Better than a dagger, I would say.
Better than a dagger for sure. The attack numbers are way better. Since this is an all dungeons run, we will have higher stats than I'm used to doing any percent, so I'm used to lower stats, right? Like, so this will be we'll have, to me, a crushing level of power. All right, trial dungeon is next. That's where the blue thing is leading us. And it's pretty close. Nice map. All right. What was that? Oh, it's just a potion. Okay. I don't care that much. We already got 2 safeties that we didn't have to buy. We got a scroll of herb, which turns anything into an herb. Especially useful if you've got a cursed item on you. You can just turn the cursed item into an herb and pop, off you go. The higher difficulties of this game absolutely support a, classic roguelike identify game. Like, they have multiple things that target items in your inventory. One is inventory, one is identify, one's turn it into an item. Right, like they have multiple things that don't target as scrolls. They have, bad versions of everything. Right, so there's a really robust, at higher difficulties, identify game kind of fitting in with this whole roguelike super magic lamp. It's a little heavier than the magic lamp. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Oh, what a terrible. Usually this dungeon's not bad, but this is a windy little thing.
It couldn't all go perfect,
Yeah, it can't all go perfect. But yeah, like this is a much windier trial dungeon than I'd love to see. But we're doing it because it's all dungeons, and honestly, it's one of the ones that I generally do in even if I'm doing any percent, because to get there's like I said, there are kind of 2 items you need to have a fast end game. There are 2 items. There are 2 items you need to have a fast middle game. One of them is the dragon shield, because it's the only way to block enemy the boss attacks in the middle of the game, right? And then the other one is a way to quick exit out of the sealed dungeon, because it's a long walk out, and while death warps are possible in this game, it isn't necessarily fast to death warp when you have a ton of HP. Enemies are not like straight line brutal, where it's like, oh, if an enemy's hitting me, they'll keep hitting me until I'm dead. No, sometimes they'll just stop. You'll just be pleading for them to hit you so you can death warp. They're just like, no, I'm gonna wander around a bit.
Like
it's cool. We don't feel like it.
We're pacifists now.
Yeah, and so it's death warping is not a given. And so having a way to warp out of that 5-level dungeon, like it's like this little maze floor here, but it's 5 levels of it.
Oh my gosh.
Right, you can imagine that warping out of that is required, basically, and death warping is not the fastest way. Like I said, it's better than nothing, but you would really prefer to be able to use a fairy drops and get that extra 30 seconds or minute back, right?
Yes.
From a death instead of a death warp. So those 2 things, the dragon shield prevents the damage from the dragon as well as the mage bosses. And that's what the other thing here. Here we picked up a Lens of Truth, a la Legend of Zelda, and we picked up a dragon shield, right? And that's always going to be here. So turn around, don't die to the will-o'-the-wisp. I mean, I could die; it would just be a death warp, but And so like here's a good place where like the frame rate is solid enough here, but you can see through that entire sequence that like you might wonder, like, are the controls janky? Yes. Why? Because the frame rate's so low, right?
Yes.
Like the lower the frame rate is, like if you're used to, people being like, oh, we switched from 60 to 120 because, 60 and 120 give us different gaps of action, right? Like going from 60 to 5, right? Like your runs last for, a fifth of a second, right? And so like that makes your movement clunky. Right, like you're not necessarily used to think like that, but it's absolutely the case. And like, so most of this game's kind of clunk in like its movements and stuff is because of the frame rate, not anything else.
Well, chat is loving the frame rate, especially in that dungeon we were just in. They were making a lot of jokes.
That's fine. I mean, I love this game, but I will not once ever tell you that it doesn't have a critical problem in its frame rate. Like it just does. Like it doesn't bother me. Like, for whatever reason, I don't have a huge problem with it. It just kind of folds into like, yes, it's janky, right? Like, congratulations. But like for, it doesn't bother me, but some people it does. I will say that on emulator, it performs better than hardware. Not necessarily a surprise, but actually like legitimately, like you get like twice the frames. It's amazing.
Wow. Up to 10 frames a second.
It's real good. One of my world records was recorded at 10 frames a second, right? Like, and there was just no loss.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I was on hotel Wi-Fi, and I was just like, I need to run this. This could even be decent or terrible. Let's find out. So this is a randomly generated maze, right? Like, and so the big thing that's important about this maze, I'm actually going to put on the lenses for once. Usually I don't bother. But spectacles of truth, right? Like, there are hidden doors in this maze. I went through one to get in, right? To get in here, but there's only really 3 hidden doors inside of it. And each of them lead into one of those big 3 rooms you can see on the map, right? Like there's 3 open, spaces that really have no explanation. They all have a secret door into them. Wow, that's a good one. Good trick. There were some spikes popping up there. There are trap plates that cause spikes to pop up. This is if you remember the Roper maze in Hydlide 1, this is the pseudo equivalent. Yeah, that's what I feared. Is that was not going to be the way in. So round and down this way.
Yeah, these randomly generated rooms, they've been obliterating you so far.
Yeah, but right, like you can see that the objective there, as per the compass, is in one of those 3 rooms, and it could be on any side of the room, right? So, the other 2 things also have very useful items. The best armor in the game is in the upper right open block, always, and a very solid weapon. This is what I was talking about when I said that this map could be very miserable, is if it wasn't one of those first 2 squares that you have access to quickly, you're gonna have to go all the way around to get access to the other 7 squares on that objective. The other, I guess, not 7 squares. 10. Whatever. Don't care. That's one ugly Roper. But yeah, so this is a pretty bad ruins. I am absolutely going to death warp out of here. It's not a question.
Yeah, no, it would take an eternity to leave at this point.
Yeah, and so that's actually a good point to talk about. Last time this was on GDQ stage proper, it was the Japanese version. There are multiple reasons for that, but the biggest one is that the Japanese version costs much less. Ow, didn't want to die before I got their game. It's fine. Just gonna, you can continue and it'll start you from the beginning and that'll suck, but it's just time loss. Right. But yeah, no, so the US and Japanese version are almost the same, but there are a couple key differences. One of them, you'll see immediately here, I haven't lost my points, which are your money. In Japanese, when you die, you lose all of your points. Right, so death warps are a no-go if you intend to spend any money, because you lose it all. Right, you don't need to spend any more money; they're fine. But in the Japanese version, right? Like you can't do a death warp and have any money after it. And then the flip side, and Gyre actually generally showed this off that year when he was doing the run in marathons, is that you have like a good 5 frames to save yourself when you die by using a healing item in Japanese. So like if you once you're past the point where buying anything is relevant, it's a much safer run, right? Like you never need to overheal, right? Like you never need to heal preemptively. It's just you always heal after you die, right? Like there's no need to heal any other time. So like there's goods and bads on both, but for this random seed scenario, right? Like there are like more random deaths and more cases like this where like I'm going to death warp out of here. It's not a question.
Yeah.
Right. So like being able to keep my money while doing that is a big deal. Right. So yeah, like this is just the case that like a lot of the time US is going to be the better choice for a random seed. Even though like technically like it would be safer to do the Japanese, but it would also be slower in any case where you ran into, say, this terrible one, right? Where the death warp would deprive you of the money you need, and you almost assuredly do need money, unless you find the shop very early. I think you could do it if like you found the shop pretty early. You might be able to not care because you pick up most of what you need, but you would like to at least have 125k in the shop. If you
Wow.
I didn't think it was going to hit me one more time.
Hit you, baby, one more time. Bummer.
Yep. It's fine. I'm just going to hit continue. But yeah. But that's really the main difference between US and JP. So they're on the same board, right? Zofar, who is another runner who picked this up, last year, a bit after I did, right? Like I bought into a Japanese version. He had a US version from the long, long ago, right? Mm-hmm. Since then, we both bought the other version, right? Like so that we can correctly co-administrate the boards and be like, yes, like we both can reproduce all the scenarios.
Sure.
But yeah, it is the case that they're pretty darn close. Looks like there's some minor load time differences, but they're sub-second, and we are not to the point where sub-second, right? Like where 3 seconds in the entire run is the difference between like tight road records. That might change in the next year, but right now,
not yet.
Similarly, on the leaderboards, we do allow emulated runs, although this is on hardware, as I mentioned. Mister and Satiator and other kind of like emulation or hybrid emulation disk solutions are allowed on the leaderboards. Yeah, there's if one wants to put up a time, virtual Hydlide, opportunity is available. There is something about the hardware, though.
Yeah, it's just got that charm to it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just going to preemptive heal before I reach that same spike trap that killed me 2 times.
Surely it's not going to get you a 3rd time.
That's not how math works, and that's why I'm going to heal before it happens again. I have a phrase that I like to use because that's not how math works. That's not how anything works.
Yeah, I love that.
Phrase. We're going to use Skull. Turn that leather on to herb. Boop. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. That was a segment. So the traps are in the middle. So if you stay to the edges, you're usually fine. Just that when you're running frantically, you don't always stay to the edges.
Fair enough.
All right. So here's where we hopefully find. Oh, see, there's the door into the thing we actually need. Get another tool. Virtual Hydlide VR. That's a nice one.
Oh, yeah. That'd be nice,
man.
wouldn't it?
That could be a rough one for sure. How well can you handle the frame rate? Woo. That could be brutal. Past all that, didn't see it. Not on this side. I would like to get the fairy armor, just because. There it is. Okay. Grab the fairy armor, make things safer. Hard to get. And we're just gonna go jump into some spikes. Alright. So best armor in the game for some reason is in this dungeon. I don't know why. It's particularly funny in any percent because this dungeon is like the second one you do. It's like, oh, where do you find the best in the game? Oh, it's just in the second dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Yep, you just get it for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give the spikes that killed me another go at it. I believe in them.
I was like, now they won't kill you if you try.
Now they won't kill me. What gives? Spikes.
They're just trying to let you down one last time.
One last time. All right. All right. So now we've got. So this item is required to complete the seed. You can't go into the volcano without it. But if you touch a piece of orange ground in the volcano without it, you will instantly die. And there are two sections of the volcano dungeon that always have just like orange ground across the bottom, unbroken. So you simply can't go through the volcano without this item. And so this is why any percent does, graveyard for the free level and this, right? Like, because it's required, right? Just can't avoid doing this dungeon. You can avoid the vampire, you can avoid the trial dungeon, if you find another place to get a dragon shield, but you can't avoid this, right? All right, good deal. We know where the volcano is. And we don't need the gem for it. Volcanoes is the first thing that I found, like when I was going side. So it's like me map there, right? So we're gonna be headed to the volcano, following the blue line again, which is again a great improvement over original Hydlide, which had no guide as to what to do at all in any way. Step one was always grind.
Yep.
If you've ever done the slime grind in Hydlide 1, yeah, it's not great. We're in good shape here. We haven't found the fairy forest, which is an extra thing that we do need to do. It's fine. It gives an extra 50 hit points by now. We haven't found the shop yet, but that's fine because we have things we absolutely need. But we are going to need to find both of those. Because we need some scroll. We need a scroll to help us out in the final search for items. Let's see if we're lucky enough to be able to use the armor and the shield and the axe. The answer is no. Keep the armor on for now, but we are going to have to ditch the armor for the shield once again. Now you can see this very bright, pointy fairy armor.
Yeah, looks sharp.
Like it's kind of like half mocap, half pixel, right? Like so, it's very weird.
It transcends graphics.
It does. It definitely transcends. Right. Also, I'm still. Didn't put on the amulet. That would have been funny to see. See it later. All right. Run. Every time I take dick damage here, it's because I ran over the orange ground slightly. So that's when every tick damage that you see me take is something that would have killed me instantly if I didn't have the plan.
Yeah.
Every 2 damage. So, like, you already see that, like, I'm dead 15 times over by now. But this is the place that has the worst frame rate. It's also not a question. Volcano is one of the weirder maze generation places in general, and it's because it has these weird blocks that it can use, like that one down there, that like are squirrely in how they display their joins to other pieces of the map. Made out of that nest of trees. If you get a clean volcano, that's very nice, but sometimes you get just those absolute masses. It's just like, oh, which direction can you actually leave all of that?
Yeah.
I don't know. And sometimes you even get pieces overlapping, so you can clip from tunnel to tunnel. The BBG seed has that. The Zopar seed doesn't have any of that. The Zopar seed's much more like this volcano, which is kind of some squirrely messes. That's the seed that Zopar has his world record for seeded any percent on. Gyre uses Gyre period for his. We haven't gotten through all the analysis necessary to find the perfect seed, right? Although we are working on it.
I imagine that's a lot of work. This thing can generate how many seeds you said earlier? Like a billions, right?
4 billion, the full unsigned maxit, right? 32-bit maxit.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, somebody generated like the way to make the world map in Rust, right? Like just re-implemented from the assembly, right? And so just using that and kind of going, okay, like how can I weave that down into a small enough set for us to like manually check, right? Because we don't have generation for all of the sub pieces. Each dungeon has a unique generation algorithm. Right, so it's not the case that it's just like, oh, like because you figured out how to do the world map, you figured out how to do all of the dungeon generation. Nope, like completely different for each one. Armor off, shield on. Here. Alright, so we have a shield, we can block fire. Yeah, the pattern is pretty straightforward here. It'll make growling noises, and if it's a real growl, you'll get fired. And now we wait for it to come close enough for me to hit with an axe. Yep, this is good encounter design right here. Thankfully, you can kind of cancel your swings into shielding. Nice. You decided you wanted to come up here and let me hit you with my axe. Is somewhat RNG, unavoidable RNG. All right, now it's getting closer. Close enough. There we go. Now I'm powerful enough that I'm stunning all 3 heads, so they won't be breathing fire at me. Right? Yes, you can see that there. Just all of them locked into stun. The question is, stay close enough to kill them. Looks like they're backing up. Forward again. Love it. All right. I mean, not great, but not terrible. I only did that herb because if they get me with a good barrage with no armor on, right, like it can get dangerous. All right. Good deal. This is also a required item. From required to required. Get down here. Great. Right, now we're gonna death warp. Death warp the easy way. Remember what I told you about the flame amulet?
Time to melt, right?
It's time to melt.
Let's go. Woo!
And we're done. Now that's an efficient death warp right there.
That's crispy.
It's crispy, super crispy. As the old references might have gone. That's a contemporaneous reference, right? All right. A little before, I guess, right?
Sure,
MK2. MK2 was a little after 95.
Sure. I'm going to take your word for that one.
I actually don't know off the top of my head. But yeah. But right, so when this loads, we'll be able to back out of the only dungeon you can cleanly back out of. Every single other dungeon tries to turn you around if you try and back out, or won't let you exit at all. This is the only one where you can just back out cleanly. It's funny. All right. So now we're going to the sealed dungeon, which is the 5-level one. And at this point, like, we really need to find the shop, but there's only 2 places it can be now, by a process of elimination. Unfortunately, well, actually, they're not that far from each other. All right, so let's get out of this hole. I'm gonna go. So we've eliminated all the other places. There's a place to the south of that brown morass, to the northwest, and there's another place to the north of it, in the northeast of our map. Those are going to be the fairy forest and the shop, because that's the only places left that they can be, because we know where everything else is. So I'm going to go to them. Right, like, we want the fairy because that's a required item to get the final dungeon, and it's also another level. Have to map check a little. I think that looks about right. Oh, thank you for somebody checked out. So no, actually that would be after. So that is a contemporaneous reference. You could have imagined somebody playing Virtual Hydlide back when they bought it and making that reference. Just imagine. Yeah, here's Fairy Forest. This is a hot and cold game. I'm going to be quiet. Please be quiet as well. Long. All right. Yeah. It helps to have headphones on there. I don't. Because it's a left-right channel thing. All right, so that was Fairy Forest. That means this is going to be the shop up here. And the shop is where we're going to buy that teleport item I mentioned. Easy, you can buy a lot of things here.
Fairy tears, classic.
Yeah, fairy tears are what we're going to be using here. I'm going to buy the Master Sword to speed up the kill on that. And we need a Scroll of Detect. I'm going to buy a second for safety. And then I'm going to buy it. That's plenty of stuff. All right, great talk. Let's go to the Trow Dungeon. And yeah, if you miss in the forest, you'll get a swarm of bees that can paralyze you and kill you very quickly. That's why I was like, I really don't want to miss this. I really need the quiet. All right. So the item we got in the volcano was a flute. That will get us into here. Got a dungeon to run.
Running.
Yep. So like I said, this is a 5-level dungeon for our purposes. It actually has a 6th level, but you generally don't go there in the speedruns. Where sometimes, if the item generation hasn't ruined you, you can find the Fairy Shield, which is the best shield in the game. But it doesn't. The Fairy Shield doesn't block any of the things you need to block. So despite having the best defensive number, it actually, underperforms the Dragon Shield in all real-world cases. Just because the Dragon Shield can block fire attacks, and that covers most of what matters. The way the shields work in this game, in essence, is when they're up, they provide extra defense value. And it just so happens that the Dragon Shield also provides some sort of massive increase against fire to the point where it does no damage. Right, so like conceptually blocking doesn't even necessarily negate all damage, right? Like it just negates, you know, either 30, 60, or 90 depending on the shield you have in hand. Fairy shield would be the 90, right? So it ends up being that the dragon shield ends up being better just because of whatever extra it has to resist against fire makes it actually work against fire, whereas the fairy shield doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know any details there other than the fact that it's true. All right, here's a minecart. It can only have 5 kilograms on it, so that's a problem. But oh wait, actually it doesn't matter. They just coded up a sign and didn't bother coding the restriction. Minecart ride. It's
Lovely.
every time you see somebody play the game new, they see that sign and they're like, what am I supposed to do here? Right? Because like obviously like you weigh more than 5 kilograms. Right? Like does it just mean like get rid of everything but 5 kilograms of your stuff? Like right, like everybody's just, you know, confused as to what they should do. And the answer is just get in the darn cart. All right. So, the holes, right? Like the holes in the map are the downs, right? Like the elevators, the mine elevators. Right. So that's kind of how we're navigating most of these. There's the one time where we went to the kind of the mine track off to the top. Right, like which is what we did last level. Now on, it's going to be holes, and then we'll finally have an X objective. Second fastest. The fastest point is when you go into the map. You can actually turn in the map. Right, that's where it's the fastest. The map runs at 60 FPS because it doesn't have to re-render any of the hard stuff. Right, so here, right, like, you know, differently, right, like the exit hole can be anywhere on the map, not just the top. And so in this case, right, like it's actually very down south, which surprised me that I didn't immediately see it. I started going towards the thing at the north, assuming it was at the north somewhere. Nope, it's just
of course
right
not.
here.
Yeah, it's immediately next.
It's just right here.
Yeah.
Great deal. All right. This is the final floor. You will see that X at the top is the final objective. I haven't seen the poison gas the last 3 times through. I'm hoping that curse is hit and we see it now. There is a random poison gas cloud down here. It poisons you, unsurprisingly. You can't really avoid it. You can't really see it coming, especially if you're running. You just kind of get poisoned. Just the game we're playing here. Want to play a different game?
Nope.
Like
Hydlide only for us.
That's right. All right. I'm going to safety save before this fight because this is the US version. All right, this is the most frustrating boss. You thought that like the dragon, because it went back and forth. Now this is a boss that can only be hurt when he's touching the ground, and whether he's touching the ground or not is mainly up to him. And you can get in one hit each time. We have found ways to kind of push the AI towards landing, sometimes with significant success. But neither Zophar nor I has pulled off a true kind of like, you know, full AI lock situation. Like, this is the kind of thing we're talking about. That, like, we stay close to his box, we use weapon swings, right? Like, and sometimes we can induce him to set down 4 or 5 times in a row. Try and move correctly so as to induce it to happen again. Right, like so, like this is a pattern that was not used / understood, right? Like back in 2019, right? Like those kills were all like, you know, flame sword based kills, which you're not going to see this run, because flame sword is very good. But you know, and why not just sit in the center, spin, and charge up a fireball? Right? That sounds like a good idea if you're just dealing with an enemy that's going to sit down whenever. Just make sure you always hit them. right? But Zophar and I, and Author Blues too, when he first played it casually, he saw this pattern, right? Oh. The attack this guy has is 6 fireballs that will probably kill you if you are wearing anything with fairy armor. Like, he just slugs you 6 times if you're not blocking. If you move into his box, he always flies up. And most enemy AI acts like that, right? Like, the vampire as well. If you move into the vampire's box, he will be like, nope, I'm not going to be here anymore. Right? You can't kind of, like, just stand in their box and get on. Right? But, again, you see this here, right? Like, pokes this guy, that down, surprisingly decently compared to the old sit and spin methods. Right. Perfectly? No, that's still something we'll work on. But a lot less randomly than the old methods. See you, buddy. All right. That's that. That is the end of this dungeon. We are about to get the second fairy. Right. And we're gonna get the Tears of the Earth as well. Yep. Tears of the Earth, which is how we unlock the final dungeon, and a fairy. And at this point, we can leave. We will. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Turn around, because you can't back out here. Touch the door appropriately. If you back out here just correctly, he does something very weird engaging with the door. I should have probably tried to do that just for funsies. But yeah, like every time you try backing out of the ruins, he will turn and be and then he'll head off at like a quarter angle through the walls. But it takes him so long to turn that it's worse than just turning around yourself. Funny though. All right, so now the yellow points on the map I've been going to, the final position is not on the map. It is, however, known. So the rivers and mountains and bridges are all there's only 5 total underlying maps that have mountains, rivers, bridges, and lake, right? And that also has that final dungeon position. So 5 maps that can each be rotated 4 directions, right? They're squares, right? That's the 20 base maps that any virtual Hydlide overworld map will have, right? So we actually do know, right, that, where that is, right? Because it's always right here next to this lake in a specific position. If you've done the seed analysis, right? Which we're just starting to do, right? But yeah, this is, right, final dungeon is in that position. We have our scrolls of detect, which we will need. We already have the Stone of Fighter, which is great and can save us time. Right, and that is the tablet we need to go to. Get here, face it roughly. We use the new Tears of Earth, spots in, and here is the final dungeon. It does make the NS version look good. This is possibly the best Hydlide, of all of them.
I would say so. My very limited experience, I would say so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it has a legitimate claim at it. Right, if you enjoy any Hydlide, kudos to you. But I think this one legitimately has very possibly be the best of them. Check the map real quick. All right, we're trying to get to that center point, and there's actually no teleporters up this way. Usually it's not too hard. It's not like it's a teleporter maze that generally has you kind of wind around and this and that and the other thing. Right, but it is a teleporter maze. Wait, wasn't there? Oh, it's in the next one. This map's actually kind of annoying. Often you can find a very easy way to the center point. It looks like it'll be good as long as there's another teleporter on the second floor. Goes up. Okay. There's it is. You can see that cube there. That's our destination. Generally a pretty easy maze. This one, however, this is This is a lot. Welcome to the power core. Each floor has a sliding block puzzle surrounding your initial position, and this maze you need to find the Sword of Light in this maze. And the stone if you don't have it. That's why we bought Scroll, because it will tell us where all the treasure chests are. I do detect treasure boxes. Alright, so let's check West first. But West has the most. Now you get the right platform, take you to the right exit, and you hope you didn't get your directions mixed up. There are multiple block puzzles. By the way, mimics. There were mimics in the sealed caves, but you don't interact with them ever. There are also mimics here. Roll is not what I want. And I'm gonna have to go around. Yeah, these chests can legitimately be in a lot of places in this thing, and this is where kind of when I have time baked in over kind of like what you might think of an old dungeon seed taking. This is why, like even with the Scroll of Detect, which you wouldn't have in hard mode, you wouldn't have in pro mode, right? I don't even know if you get it in medium mode, right? Because the shop in medium is different. Right, like finding these chests amongst the mimics, mind you, if you don't have this scroll, is an enormous task in this flashing, like this is a discotheque, right? Like this flashing discotheque of a maze.
Ugh.
It's an enormous amount of time you could conceptually spend here. Like especially if you pick the wrong directions, right? Like I'm getting, got scroll, herb, and this isn't sword, right? Like this direction was a waste of time, right? You just kind of have to do that until you hit. Oh, look, there's a mimic right next to my chest. Is that nice of them?
Wow, very,
Cool.
very kind.
All right, and so that tool, I believe, was another stone. So like we got, we hit the stone before we hit the sword, so no time save there, unfortunately. We will, however, show off the other feature of the stone because this game has the ability to add pluses to weapons and armor, and the stone has 2 possible functions, and that's one of them. So we are going to use at least a +1 Sword of Light for the end game. In the speed run, we're generally kind of cut down to brass tacks, and that's not a thing. Nothing east. There's 1 north, 2 north. 1 south, so we're trying to get north. This cube, okay, yeah, I like this sliding pattern. Like, there's some sliding patterns that are truly like they change every cycle, right? Like it's not consistent. Like it's the same thing sliding back and forth, and you just have to figure out your way through the dance. No, it changes, right? Like it's off every cycle, so you can miss something and have to wait a good 3 or 4 cycles for it to sync back up with itself. Those are the worst by far. Inventory limit. Sure, that counts. There is an inventory limit. You don't usually get it, but it actually does tend to happen a lot with this jewelry. We do not need this jewelry, although it's a good chance to talk about it. There are 3 jewels that debuff the last boss if you get all 3. It's absolutely not worth it to me. There we go. This is the sword. This is what we need. Sword of Light. Make it a +1. What's the other one? There, so we got the emerald. Alright, we did it. We have the endgame equipment. Why did I care about this? Well, here's why. Projectiles. Not just projectiles, but 3 projectiles with the Stone of Fighter. You can imagine the damage increase that has, additionally to being the most powerful weapon in the game. No question. Mm-hmm. So this thing it just gives you so much damage output. It is night and day doing the last bosses with this versus the next best weapon, which would be Flame Sword, because it also has projectiles. So that's why you always go out of your way for it. Again, it's just a night and day difference at full speeds. Lighter. And elevator with that. All right. Second floor of the power core.
Okay.
It's eventually the same maze, but there's nothing you need to find. So you almost. I've never seen a map where you don't have to go through the middle again. So it's just killing sliding blocks again, but you not have to do anything. To the other mark on the map. In higher difficulties, the map is not filled out for you. In pro difficulty, you don't get a map.
Isn't that handy?
It's very handy. By handy, I mean this is just a super sparse block set. It's annoying, but all right. Up and we'll fight. A classic enemy from Hydlide, although it was not a boss in the first game. You know him and you love him. Played original Hydlide. Hiding out in the canals and waterways of the map. It is the eel.
The eel. Okay.
The eel was essentially a wandering super boss, for lack of a better term. Just would kill you very easily if you ever were in the water. Okay, what's up? So they made him a boss now. As far as anything could be a super's boss in Hyde. Why is he running? Weird. See those triple hits, right? Like you can hear them even. The heal here. Why we bought a bunch of them. You can only shoot again when the balls have hit their target. Yeah, in the Japanese, right, like it's the E.E.L. like it's some sort of acronym.
Yeah,
all right, third fairy. This is a small time save. The correct order for the game is to do the sealed cave, this, and then the forest. But by doing the forest first, the fairies teleport us to the last dungeon on this transition instead of later. Right, so it just lets us collapse 2 transitions into one for a small time save. All right. Flannel Cat has it. Eels. All right. The final dungeon is actually just a boss rush. So it barely deserves the name of final dungeon. The vampire flew away when we killed him the first time, so we've got to kill him again. The mage has a brother. I'm gonna have to kill them again. And the mage has another mage, right? I don't know who it is. Oh, wow. I don't know how that bat snuck up on me. Bats have paralysis here. You let me go, bats. I will use a potion to save myself. Good lord. Never great when that happens. I thought I was firing fast enough to not let the bats get to me from the vampire. I was clearly mistaken. Alright, that's the vampire. We survived paralysis, which is good. You don't always survive that because there's no way to heal it that I know of in the game. Whew. We dodged a bullet there. I mean, it would have only had us continue at the back of the thing, so like it's not a huge time loss, but you don't want to die if you can help it. Alright, second, another mage, but this time he's got ads and he can heal the ads up from dead, as well as a quarter of his own life. Said he can be induced the same as his clone. Again, you can just see the massive increase in chunks of health that we're shaving off with the lights. The balls of the sword of light. Right, look at this. Like, we got him to set down 4 times in a row. Right? Like, that's unreal. When we get this unlocked, man, it'll be nice. Maybe when I get it unlocked. Yeah, you did, Zophar. Right. Yeah, Zophar got a critty vampire last night. Still beat the any percent randomized world record. All right, this is the final boss, Verilus. Verilus has 3 attacks: a big black ball, a green ball like the vampire shoots, and a Vegeta-like barrage of bullets. The barrage of bullets is the most lethal, and it can be blocked with the fire sword. He teleports around. You can only get 1 hit on him, or less. But that's by timing, not by thing. So ideally, he stays here for like 6 barrages, even longer. When you crit, he resets his AI like that. But that's it. Like, he stays there. If he stays there the entire time, as he can, we're done. That's time. Like that. That's it. That is the best Veralis you can kind of see.
Computer crashed for a second. They might be able to hear me. They might not. I know you can, Mecha, but that was really good. I just caught the end of that.
I can hear you, and therefore the stream can hear you through me.
There you go.
Right, so they should be able to hear you.
We should.
All right, watch this final cutscene. The princess looks much better here. Right, like they really gave her the pixels, right, like to show up. Like, she doesn't look better here, but now with this close up, like, that is a beautiful gown. Right, like they really give her the pixels to, against the green screen. You can see the green screen kind of whiting against her hair, right? Like, which is, again, like, it's a sort of blend of mocap and pixels that they're doing here. Right. But yep. And now it's green again.
we have regained color. Lovely.
Yeah. And that's Hydlide. That's virtual Hydlide. Like credits, obviously. Right. But yeah, that's the game, right? Like, I like world records, like, for this category, if it's not random seed, where like seeded is like just around 40, I want to say. So far would know for sure. Like, it's just under 40, I think. But yeah, it's pretty. It's so adding the randomization components, especially if it goes badly, like my deaths in the ruins, right? Could have gone faster for sure. And obviously that the maze at the end, right? Like, do you find the sword quickly or not? But yeah, it's I like the randomized component. It's a fun randomizer, right? Like, it is different. Like, it's getting different weapons, like getting the axe start, right? Like, is something I love. Like, I don't think Zophar would have loved it as much. Like, he's not as big of a heavy weapons fan as I am. Congratulations, period. That's what you get. Congratulations.
You have gamed. That's all
you have gamed. You have gamed the most. You have virtualed every Hydlide.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That was
one more feature.
Oh, okay.
One more feature. Oh. They score you up. Your score in the game, plus a bunch of other factors, time taken, monster kills, etc. Like, you get a final score.
Yeah.
Which can go on a leaderboard. Does this one go on the leaderboard? I don't know. It might not. I've played this game a lot. That might not have qualified, all things considered.
Well, that's too bad.
Yep. I mean, that's good, right? Like, because you can get a score reward when you die, too. Which you can imagine, like, it hits, enter your name and then shows you the screen. Like, that's just for time loss on death, right? So you actually want to get it to the point where no reasonable score you ever have will hit a top score during the game.
Okay. Well,
right.
then
So
you succeeded.
that is actually a good thing to have just a scoreboard filled up with ridiculously high, have beat the game scores.
Awesome. Well, you definitely succeeded then. Wow. Yeah, I just cannot get over how this game has this built-in randomizer and it's from 1995 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. It was,
so like my that last run was like 250 something, right?
Mhm.
Like whereas all these numbers are like 26, 27, 28.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And note that like some of these they share, the Japanese and US versions share the same like saved data block.
Okay.
Where like saves and high scores that you make in one carry over the other.
Gotcha.
Completely seamlessly. Right? So you can make a save in the Japanese and it'll say, oh, what's the region? Japanese characters. You move it, you can put it in the English disc, what is the region? It's like, oh, that's the power core.
Mhm.
It just it's just completely cross-region compatible in these data save.
Very
component.
interesting. Very interesting.
Which is also, it's an interesting thing we discovered when we finally, had a copy of both. It's just like,
right.
wild stuff.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah, we use a Pro Action Replay to get the cross-region. Like, I have a Japanese Saturn. So far has a US one, right? But Pro Action Replay lets you do a lot of things with the Saturn. But the big one is it lets you, it lets you do cross-region. That's how we can play both.
Yeah.
But that is a virtual Hydlide.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to feature Virtual Hydlide. And I mentioned this before when we were getting set up, but to mention it in front of everybody, you will get to be doing some more Virtual Hydlide coming up in January. Is that right?
That's right. Aside from anything else that I'm doing, January, it's marked as being in the awful Games Done Quick block. So in theory, it's going to be in, the Wednesday evening slot. Virtual Hydlide, any percent seeded. So the leanest to the bone run that we figured out for this game is going to be on GDQ. It's been a few years, 2019, I want to say, since Gyre showed off 100%, but which is not only all dungeons, but all items.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're returning to the big stage with perhaps, the most optimized form of the run we'll have at the time. And I'm really hoping to show off some new optimizations. As I mentioned, we're kind of working on, turning seeds into, what's the best possible seed now. Hopefully we'll hit that by GDQ and I can show you something we've never seen before with the Virtual Hydlide.
Well, I, for one, and I'm sure other people here will echo that we are excited to see what you can come up with come January. I'm very excited to see what you in the community can come out with for this gem of a video game. Thank you again so much, Mecca, for being here for us. So, for everybody else out there, that is going to conclude tonight's episode of Awfully Silly. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back in our regularly scheduled 2-week slot. So we will be having an episode the day before Halloween. So you might be able to imagine what kind of games we might have on around that time. So get your imaginations going as to what we might be featuring. I wanted to remind everyone, of course, on our way out, that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. And of course, you can always check out our VODs from past events or other Hotfix shows at youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. Well, we have another Hotfix show coming up right after this, as usual, so you will not want to go anywhere. Out of Bounds is coming up next. I know we got a very fun program planned for that, and I can't wait to see what Kung Fu Fruit Cup has come up with, so you're definitely going to want to stay tuned. But for this episode of Awfully Silly, that is going to be it. See you next time. Bye, everyone.